If you're watching this, you're probably going into grade 9 and you're probably feeling nervous. That's why you're watching this video. And I understand why you're nervous because high school is totally awful. No, I'm not going to gloss over it like they do in Lizzie McGuire and what your teachers tell you and whatever. High school is not fun. It is not a fun thing to do. Okay, it's quite awful. But if you're slightly prepared for it, it's not as awful, which is where this video comes in. So this video is basically just going to prepare you for grade 9. And I will tell you things that teachers don't tell you, Lizzie McGuire doesn't tell you, Mean Girls doesn't tell you, but you should know. So I'm going to apologize in advance for the length of this video because it's probably going to be long because I have lots of knowledge to share with you all. And yeah, if I look like I'm glancing down, it's because I have my phone with topics to talk to you about. Also, a quick shout out to Madison and Kenzie because this video is mainly for you two. Because of all of the minor niners, you two are my favorites. Yeah. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing you should know is courses. Now let me explain something. You have 2 semesters in high school, so that's September to January, then February to June are your 2 semesters. And in each semester you do about four classes. 2 in the morning, lunch, then 2 in the afternoon. And basically, you don't get to choose any of your courses except for 2 of them, and those are your electives. And those are basically fun classes you get to choose. And there's languages, artsy stuff, and then like tech kind of stuff, like computers and that kind of stuff. Now, to graduate high school, you have to do at least 1 art class. And if you're not really an artsy person, because your 3 art options are music, drama, and art. Music and drama are really, really easy. So if you're not an artsy person, you should do one of them. If you're like the kind of person that doesn't like to work at all, then definitely go with drama because in drama you just play games and really you just have to show up and you pass. I've only known one person who failed drama, and that was because they went to like 2 classes, so they had like a 10% in the class. So honestly, just show up and you pass. You don't even have to really participate. And the exam is literally just reading a sheet of paper to the class, okay? And like some fancy costume. You barely do an exam. It's pretty sweet. Now, if you want to do something a little more interesting but still really easy, then go for music. Because if you do the beginner's class, basically you choose an instrument, learn how to play it, and all you do in classes is the teacher will be like, hey, let's play this song, and you play a song. And it's not like boring songs, like it is at first, but once you get into it, you get to do things like Eye of the Tiger, and, what's that one song called? We Will Rock You, another one by Sedest. Like, we even got to do, what's it called? That Spy song, I don't remember what it's called. I don't know, if I remember the video, I'll say it. Anyways, don't do art if you don't want to do, like, if you're not good at art stuff. Because I'm just letting you know right now, when you do art, they expect you to be, like, brilliantly good at it. So if you're not, like already super good at art, I don't recommend doing it because the teacher basically expects everyone to be so good at art. And I'm just saying that the teacher is very strict, like most art teachers. So you either have that fun art teacher who's like, everyone is artistic, or you have that like really strict art teacher that's like, you must do this. You must like do straight lines. So if you're not really like an arts person, don't do art. The other electives you can do are languages. I would recommend doing Latin because I have friends who do it that say it's super, super easy. And the other one is tech. So if you're more like a hands-on learning person, then do tech. Because really all you do is just build stuff. I didn't do tech because the teacher's kind of rude. I hope he doesn't see this. Or there's like computer classes, but I've heard those are boring, so I don't recommend doing that. Okay. And then for grade 9 and grade 10, you really don't get to choose any of your classes except for those 2 electives. Except in grade 10, you get 3. But grade 11 and 12, that's when universities and colleges start looking at you. So for that, grade 11, you only have to do math and English mandatory. Everything else you get to choose. And then grade 12, you only have to do a mandatory English class. The other thing is, in elementary school, if you fail, it's no big deal. Like, you can totally fail grade 6, you still do grade 7. You could flunk every test, you still move up. In high school, if you fail a test, it's kind of like end of the world. Like, not all tests are like that, but a lot of tests are. And on top of that, if you fail a class, you either retake it in summer school, which is kind of like an entire semester in like 3 weeks, so it's not too bad. Or you have to redo the class next year, but then the only thing is that you'll be with all the grade 9s and you'll be the oldest one there. And it's really awkward. I'm just letting you know now, I did applied math, and I was literally the youngest one there, and it was grade 9 applied. And, like, there were grade 11s who had beards and stuff, and, yeah, like, there's literally 3 grade 9s, and it was really awkward. And I'm pretty sure they all still failed, so that's even more awkward. Anyways. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So, a good thing you should do is you'll have an orientation day. And that's like just before school starts. You go to the high school, and you'll get your course, like your timetable, which has all your courses on it. And they'll tell you your homeroom, and there should be students that give you a tour of the school. Let me just tell you something right now. I don't know if they still do this, but when I went last year, they showed us where our homeroom class was, and that was it. They didn't show us where anything else was. We didn't learn anything. So what I did was I got my older sister, who's been there before, to show me where all of my classes are. And I'm really glad she did that, because otherwise I would have gotten so lost. So if you have an older sibling that's been to this high school before, ask them to do that for you, and they'll show you where everything is. If you don't have an older sibling, maybe an older friend. And if you don't have an older friend, for the people who live in the same town as me and are going to the same high school, I will do this for you. I'll show you where all your classes are. So Madison, if you're watching this, just so you know, I'll do that for you. And then Kenzie, if you're watching this, well, we're going to different high schools, so I can't really help you there, but my sister goes there now, so I can ask her to do that if you need to. But yeah, just ask around. Someone will show you around. And on your first day, if you are getting lost, do not ask another student who is older than you where this class is. They will lead you to a broom closet, a bathroom, the wrong class, something, okay? If you can ask another grade 9, because they probably won't do that. Or, and I highly recommend this, just ask a teacher. Because honestly, I did that with like all of my classes for my first semester, and it might seem lame, but honestly, it's better than like getting lost and such, because like a lot of the teachers will actually walk you to that class so you can see exactly where to go. And yeah, and then you don't miss your class because you couldn't find it. Also, for probably about the first week of school, if you're late because you got lost, teachers will get that, and you won't really get in trouble. But after that first week, then they'll be like, okay, guys, you've had a week, and they'll start getting mad at you. But yeah, for that first week, they're usually pretty good about it, so don't worry too much about that. Okay. Another thing, bring $5 with you to orientation day, because they didn't tell us this, but on orientation day, you're going to get your lock for your locker, and you have to use one of the school's lock, because otherwise, and I've seen this happen, the janitor comes with pliers if you have a different lock, and they just cut it off. Which I was really mad about, because my mom got me a High School Musical on, and I was so pumped. I was going to be like, yeah, I'm totally going to use this, but no, I have to use one of the boarding school ones. If you don't go to orientation and you don't get the lock, they do sell them at Staples, so don't worry about it. Also, another thing, if you're going to miss orientation, ask a friend to pick up their timetable for you. And if you do miss it, don't worry about it, because on the first day, they'll have a big bulletin board with all the students in their homeroom. So then you go to the homeroom, and you can ask around, and they'll help you out to see how to get there. And when you get to your homeroom, the teacher, they will give you a new timetable, and everyone will get one. So then you know where to go after that. So it's not too bad if you miss it. Also, real quick, when you get your lock, I highly recommend, as soon as you get home, practice opening it. Like, this is what I did. If I was just watching TV, I would just like randomly be doing that while I'm watching TV, and I've never like forgotten my combo because of this. Like, I see so many people who are like, oh, I don't remember my combo, okay, I can't get my book now. And honestly, just practice a lot. Like, it might seem lame at first, but it really helps you out. Also, just for future notes, hang on to your locker your lock during summer, because that is your lock for all of high school, unless you feel like buying a new one every year and then having to rememorize different combos. So yeah, just keep tabs on your lock during summer and make sure you don't lose it. Okay, so next note, when you have your first homeroom class, that is your first class, that is when that is when you choose your locker. It'll probably be in that hallway, but some of the lockers, sometimes they don't have enough lockers for everyone, in which case, until the school can find you a locker, you just don't have one. Like, I had friends who went the first 2 weeks without lockers, but then they got like brand new, like the really nice lockers, because there are two types of lockers in a school. There's the super crappy old ones that are very narrow, the doors get stuck, they're really awful looking, and like the hooks are broken off it. Like, my locker was supposed to have 3 hooks, but the 2 of them got broken and only one of them really worked, which really sucked. So, but yeah, then the new ones, they are like, they have hooks and everything, they're so beautiful and they're not gross looking. So if you don't have a locker on the first day for this reason, don't panic, because you'll probably get one. And in the very rare case, you just have to like bring all your books with you every day, which in that case, I recommend getting a big backpack. Also, I was told that if you wanted to decorate your locker, don't bring all your locker stuff on the first day because it looks lame. Honestly, if people tell you like, oh, don't do this, it looks lame, don't do this, it looks lame, most people don't care. Like, I know in Mean Girls and everything, and I don't mean to be dissing Mean Girls here because that movie's the Bible, but it's not very accurate. Like, in the movie, everyone cares about what everyone thinks. In high school, no one really cares. They just do their own thing. Also, real quick, and I'll get into this more later, there's no cliques in high school. You've got your cool Asians, jocks, burnouts. You know, like in Mean Girls, that doesn't happen. It's just people being people everywhere. Okay. But anyways, back to the locker thing. What I did was I brought everything I wanted to use to decorate my locker with on the first day, and I just shoved it all in my locker. And then at lunch, Haley and I, if you don't know who Haley is she's my friend, and you should know who Haley is because that would mean you've been watching the Weird Squad videos, because you should be doing that because they're so awesome. Anyways, so we just totally decorated my locker at lunch. No one judged us or anything, so don't worry about that. You don't have to decorate your locker, but I think it's a nice touch. Another thing, you know those little shelves? Get one for your locker, because basically what the shelves can do is you put your books on the shelf, so then in the wintertime, if you don't want to wear your boots all day, then your books won't get dirty from them. Another thing, there's no more indoor shoes. You don't have to change your shoes. You can wear whatever you want, basically, to high school. Like, teachers don't care what you wear, really. So there's no like, okay, you must switch your shoes now. Get your indoor shoes and your outdoor shoes. There's none of that. So that's pretty good. Okay, just to clear something up, because a lot of people think this. You have the same locker all year. You don't switch during second semester. It's the same locker all year. Also, on the last day of school, I recommend getting garbage bags to put all your locker stuff in, because it won't all fit in your backpack and then you're stuck. And just so you know, a lot of times they'll have locker clean out day where you get to miss the beginning of your first classes, and the teachers just bring like garbage cans in the hallway and you just go through stuff. Try not to keep food in your locker. The guy who had his locker next to me for first semester, his locker was just filled with gross food, and it got moldy. And here's the thing, he switched lockers, because you can do that at second semester. But the thing is, all he did was take his books, he left all his garbage in there, and then the guy who had his locker, he opened it and was just filled with moldy food and garbage, and it's not pleasant, so please don't do that. It's so gross. Like, there were carrots from the first day, and they were all green, and no. Just don't do that. Anyways, the night before your first day of high school, you're probably not going to sleep. Like literally all my friends told me they got about like 2 hours of sleep that night. And that's fine. You're just nervous probably. Don't worry about it. You shouldn't be nervous because it's just high school. Pfft, no big deal. But yeah, just be prepared for that. Don't be shocked if like you don't fall asleep till 12:30 and when you do fall asleep, you then wake up at 2:30. It happens. Everyone goes through it. Like I've heard grade 12 say that they went through that. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Okay, another thing is on your first day, if you don't know where you're going, you can ask another grade 9, but don't ask anyone older than grade 9 unless they are a teacher. Because older kids will lead you into broom closets or bathrooms or like outside or something like that. Okay, like go to a teacher because a lot of teachers understand that you're a grade 9 and they will literally walk you to your class so you can see. And also just back to that older sibling thing about like getting one of them to show you where everything is. If you don't have anyone like that, take your cell phone and film, because everyone has a cell phone. Like, it's this sad modern world thing. But anyways, film how to get to your class, because then if you get stuck, you can watch this video, and then you know exactly how to get there. I've heard a lot of people do that, and it's really effective. Anyways, but yeah, just ask a teacher, and they'll usually help you. And if you do get lost, and you do miss, and you are late for class, the first week, most teachers are pretty okay about that, and they'll be like, yeah, okay, I get it, whatever. So don't feel too worried about that. Another thing, as soon as you get your timetables, write on Facebook, these are my classes, and your friends will comment if you have the same class with them. So then it's like you won't have to do it alone. But what happened with me was I only had one friend in one of my classes for the entire school year, like just one class. So what I did, and when it sounds really lame, but you should definitely do this if this should happen to you. Okay, if you see someone sit by themselves in their class, just sit with them and just be like, hi, and all friendly and stuff. I know it sounds really lame, but I made so many friends that way. And I'm just letting you know right now, if you're nervous about high school, every single grade 9 in that class is too, and they're probably so grateful that someone came and sat with them. And honestly, you make so many friends that way. It's so easy, so just do it. Okay, and now let's talk about lunch. So a lot of people will tell you to eat in the cafeteria, but I have kind of mixed feelings about that. A lot of people don't, just because it's pretty mainstream and such. And they'll usually eat in front of their lockers, or just in the hallway, or on the stairs, or something. Like my friends and I, we usually eat in the English hall. And it's just like, I don't know, just cafeteria is kind of like weird. It smells weird there. So you can eat there because sometimes we eat there because a lot of your friends might be there. But most of the time you'll probably just eat in front of your locker. Also, do not eat cafeteria food. It's small portions. It's completely overpriced. Like it's like $7 per poutine. That's like this big. And it'll probably give you food poisoning because most cafeteria food is very, very gross. So if there are places across from your school to eat at, you're probably not going to get to eat there because everyone in high school will be going there because they realize how gross the cafeteria is. And then it's like you won't have a chance to eat because, well, the people are there and you'll spend your entire lunch waiting in line. Believe me, I've waited in a line for the entire lunch before and had to eat my lunch in the next class. Also, a lot of teachers won't let you eat in class, but if you explain that happened to you, they will let you. So, yeah, it's not the end of the world if that happens, but just bring a lunch. It's easier. It's cheaper and stuff. Okay, next thing. I know in Mean Girls, it's like they have the whole map, and like, you have your cool Asians, jocks, burnouts, whatever. That doesn't actually happen. There are no cliques. Do not believe Lizzie McGuire, Clueless, all those shows. And I'm not dissing Mean Girls here, because Mean Girls is the Bible. Wear pink on Wednesdays. But, like, I don't know. It's just some weird movie stereotype. It's like everyone is basically friends in high school, and you will sit with your friends, and yeah, there are no cliques, so don't get worried about that. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of opportunities to try things like sports and plays and clubs and that kind of stuff. But let me just say that if you're a grade 9 trying out for stuff, you'll either get in because teachers appreciate you being outgoing and stuff, or you won't get in because you're a grade 9. Like, a lot of the times, like, there are, like, sports and stuff just for grade 9s, and then one separately for grade 10s and so on. And if that's the case, then you probably will get in. Sorry, it was 11:11, making a wish. Anyways. But if it's something where it's, like, mixed grades, usually they'll let, like, 2 grade 9s in, and then afterwards they just won't let them in any grade 9s in. So if that happens, it's usually not you, it's just your age. So I don't recommend trying out for anything until, like, you're in grade 10, unless it's something where it's like, this is just a sport for grade 9s. But even then, it's not really fair. Like, my friend tried out for basketball, and the teacher only let the girls in that were on her Laker team because she coached Lakers. And before the before the tryouts even started, she's like, okay, I already have my team picked out, so you might as well just leave. Like, this happens a lot, and don't take it personally. It's just the teacher being weird, or because you're a grade 9, or whatever. Okay, let's talk about teachers now. So, there are 2 types of teachers. There's either that teacher that you hate so much, or you're going to have a teacher that you love. There's no in between. You either hate them, or you love them. And, like, especially for, English and art and math, that rule especially applies. Because in those classes, you either have the super easygoing teacher who's like, let's watch movies all day, or I believe in all of you, or you have that super strict teacher that is just really unpleasant to be around, but usually knows what they're doing, so you follow what they say anyways. And if you do have a really unpleasant teacher, you can complain to, like, another teacher to talk to this teacher, but I know a girl who did that with this one teacher, and he, like, singled her out all the time and, like, made her feel so awful just for, like, reporting him. And most teachers aren't like that, but there are those few who are. So I usually just say, just grin and bear it, but you know what, do what you think. And just remember that chances are you won't have that teacher again. So if it's bad for just that one semester, sometimes you can switch classes, but other times it's like you can't, so just try to tolerate it. Another thing is if you do want to switch your courses because maybe you got put in the wrong course or it's too hard or something like that, usually it's really, really hard to do this, and normally you don't really get a chance. So yeah, you try to do that as soon as possible because usually everyone wants to switch. So you know. Okay, a lot of people will tell you that the high school workload is insufferable, and it's like you get homework every day, and it's so awful. And that kind of depends, and usually that only happens for one semester, because my first semester, I had English and geography, and those were, like, lots of homework, so I had homework, like, every day. Like, my first day of English, our teacher gave us a book report due the next day, whereas all my friends, they didn't get any homework at all. Then second semester, I literally got no homework, and they had so much homework. And it's always like that. You're always going to have one semester where you get so much homework, and it's like on TV. Or you'll have a semester where you get close to no homework. And it's just semesters. It depends on which class you're taking. So don't freak out too much, because if it seems like you're getting way too much work at first, don't worry about it, because next semester, you're going to have, like, close to no homework. Now let's talk about exams. I'm letting you know right now, exams are nearly as bad as people say they are. This sounds awful, but sometimes you don't need to study for the exam. I didn't study for 3 out of my 4 exams in my first semester, which sounds awful, but the thing is, basically what an exam is, it's a review of everything you've done that year. So if you're already doing, like, really well in that class and you basically understand everything, you don't really need to study. Like, my math exam, I didn't study for, but I got, like, 90% on that because it's just, like, I really understood the math. So, like, if it's something you're kind of struggling in a bit, or you know that, you're probably not going to do well on it because you won't remember anything. Like, science, there's a lot of terms, or even art, you have to study for that because it's a lot of terms, which sounds weird because it's art, but yeah. And so certain classes you can study for, other classes you don't really need to study for. Teachers don't tell you that, and they tell you, like, oh, start studying in September because it's such a big deal. It's not a big deal, really. Like, exams, people make them bigger than they really are. Just keep that in mind. And it's not nearly as bad taking the exam as it is the anticipation of waiting to do the exam. Also, quick note, tell your parents that you need cramming food, and they will take you to Metro and buy you like a ton of junk food. Trust me, my sister does it all the time. She milks it like crazy. And basically, it's a really good excuse to get a ton of junk food. And on top of all of this, it does actually help you focus a little more if you have food to munch on. Like, buy some Arizonas, get some chips, and just, like, I have to say it does help you study. Also, a quick note for studying, I recommend maybe like a month before the exam, look at all your old notes and start writing them out again. And if you have a teacher that likes to do PowerPoints to do information, bring your phone to class and take pictures of it. Honestly, I did that in my science class because our teacher only did PowerPoints, really. It is so useful because a lot of the times the notes you make are like really scribbly and you can't really read them. So I definitely recommend doing taking pictures of the PowerPoints or like any notes the teacher puts on the board or whatever. That's a really good thing. So if you have a phone, bring it to all your classes. Like, keep it turned off, but like bring it to all the classes. Or if like a friend's like, oh, here are my answers, you can just be like, okay, take a picture, and now you have it on your phone, and now you can like write it out for homework. But yeah, really, people will tell you exams are totally awful. They're not. The anticipation of like, oh my god, my exam's tomorrow, I'm so scared, is the worst part. Doing the exam is not a big deal at all. Also, for your first semester exam, if you have 3 snow days, they cancel exams altogether. And just so you know, we had 2 snow days, and we are so close. But yeah, so just like cross your fingers for those snow days. People will be like, oh, I just want to get my exam done and over with. But 3 snow days and it's done. So yeah, hope for that. Now let's talk about cutting class. Don't cut class. It's a very stupid thing to do because usually when you do cut class, the teacher will tell you like important information or something. And like if you do choose to cut class, which I don't recommend at all, I never did, and I'm glad I don't hang around in the hallways and such, because teachers will easily be able to tell that you're cutting class. What I recommend do is go to the library, because there are computers there and everything. And if a teacher of the librarian's like, oh, why are you here? I'd be like, oh, I finished my work early, so the teacher told me to come hang out here. Honestly, they believe that. I've never used that as an excuse, but I know friends do it all the time. They totally believe that it works and you can just chill in the library, because high school libraries usually have couches and stuff, so you can just take a nap. So true. Also, ladies, if you have a male teacher and you want to cut class, my sister says this works all the time. I don't do it. Apparently saying that it's your time of the month and you need to do stuff. If it's a guy teacher, they'll freak out and just let you go, and then you can basically cut class. I don't know. I don't do that, but I've heard it works. Guys, if you try doing that, it's probably not going to work. Also, guys, if you're watching this, plug your ears for a sec, because girls, we are going to talk. There comes a period of time when the moon is full and the wolves are howling and such, and you get a visit from an aunt who's a bit abusive. But when she does come, usually the thing that you need to help you get through it are wings and strings. I recommend keeping some of these in your lockers for such occasions. And if you need one, you can literally just go to a nurse or something and they'll have like a big drawer of them. Or there are some teachers that keep them with you. And this sounds weird, but my gym teacher, she has like 5 crates just filled with stuff in her office. And literally, if you go up to her, she'll give you like 10 boxes. And on our first day of gym class, she brought out all the crates, and she's like, okay, guys, take like 5 boxes for you, take some for your friends, just take some. It was really weird, but, it's nice to know you have that option. Okay, guys, if you were like plugging yours and stuff, you can stop doing that now. Okay. Also, people who smoke, you need to adjust to this because they are everywhere now in high school. Like, literally, as soon as you walk out of the door to leave and go home, you are walking into a big thing of smoke because everyone in high school basically smokes, or they try selling drugs or stuff. No, I am serious. Like, we have people that sell, like, painkillers, like, oh, here, take these, you know? Okay, first off, do not accept any food from people you don't know. Do not accept any drinks from people you don't know. Or drugs or anything. Don't do drugs, kids. Hugs, not drugs, you know? But basically, when you go outside, it all just reeks of smoke, so you're going to have to adjust to that. And, like, we had people who would smoke by vents, and then the smoke would go through the school, and the entire school was secondhand smoking. So, yeah, don't do smoke, but just be prepared and know that you're probably going to be inhaling smoke a lot. With that being said, once again, don't do drugs. Don't smoke. It's not cool. Cool. You know? It's not like that. And I think a big thing is, like, who you hang out with kind of depends on the kind of person you're going to be. So be, like, smart enough to make the right choice about people who are like, hey, you want to be friends? Like, don't surround yourself with people who are probably not going to get anywhere in life, because you will slowly change into that kind of person. Okay. So I think we've kind of gone over the basics. But before I finish, I'm going to leave you with probably the most important information of high school. This is something that please, I beg of you to do. Walk quickly in the hallways. I know you probably heard this a bunch of times, but honestly, and it's not just grade 9s, it's like everyone, people are slow in the hallways and they just like take their time like la 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 la. No, okay, don't do this. Okay, like you should be practically sprinting in the hallways, because otherwise you will get pushed and smacked. People will be yelling at you, and it's really not pleasant, okay? So, like, power walk in the hallways, and then you avoid this. Also, when you're turning a corner, try to walk more in the middle, because there's always going to be someone walking really fast this way, and you'll crash into them. Keep that in mind. Also, you don't need to bring your backpack to all your classes. You can, like, if you're doing art, it's really useful, because in art you have, like, 20 pencil cases. But, you can usually just carry your books, and that's why you have the locker, because you can throw everything in your locker. Also, you have 10 minutes between classes to get all your stuff together and such, or like talk with friends and stuff. And teachers will be like, oh, go to the bathroom here and stuff. But you usually don't have that much time. So, yeah, use that time wisely. And yeah, I think that's all I need to inform you. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll answer all of them. Also, I'll be posting another video of just stuff, school supplies and such you should buy for high school, and like a little extra stuff. Okay, I hope this video helped you guys. And just remember, high school sucks, but it's only like 4 years of sucking. So you know what? Just make the best of it.